Hey y'all, if you are unsure on how to use AI for either your life or for your business, I want you to watch this video. If you're not sure who I am, my name is Hector Santiesteban, and I've spent much of the last decade creating thousands of pieces of content. And over the last several years, really diving into how how you can leverage AI for your business and for your brand. But this is going to be applicable to any business owner or anybody who just wants to get more out of AI. And I found that most people are only getting the surface level out of AI. And I think about a couple of buckets that we're going to talk about. So a lot of people are using AI to write content. That's great. A lot of people, some people have taken it to the next level and are using it sort of as a strategic advisor. And we're going to talk about how to really leverage it to be that. AI has gotten so good that now we can even start to leverage AI to do research. And it's great at going out and researching things like the internet or finding out, things on different topics. But also, if you have data of yourself, if you have customer lists, if you have processes, if you have, any data that you've been developing or been accruing over the last little bit, or maybe even a long time, you can actually start to use that. And we'll talk about how to do that as well. And then, some people are even getting into the place where they're leveraging AI to build their own apps and their own tools because it's just things are more possible today and easier than they ever were before. So what I'm going to show you today, some of the conversations and some of my chat conversations that I have. We'll also go in and, show you just some examples of the things that we've been building so that you guys can see sort of how simple it is to actually get going. And so the first bucket, we mentioned that writing is something that, writing content is something that a lot of people are doing. I think even before that, now that I think about it, one of the cool and easy things that I've built is what we call this gem. And this is like, some ChatGPT calls it GPTs. They're called a lot of different things. But I just have this tool here that has a set of instructions that is basically designed to spit out amazing prompts. So instead of sitting there trying to craft a perfect prompt, I just have a prompt that helps me to write better prompts. And it saves me a ton of time and is a really great resource. And so I think that's sort of a meta thing that, yes, it is about getting good at telling the AI what you want to, what you want to get from it. But what's also nice is that you can sort of hack it a little bit and sort of maybe cheat a little bit and ask the AI to give you a prompt that is going to give you exactly what you want. And so that's something there as well. So the next thing is, just while I'm here, I'll just show some of the other gems that we've created here. So we have this LinkedIn carousel generator, and this is actually designed here to create carousels for LinkedIn in our branded colors. And so it has in its instructions, it has all of the branding guidelines. It has all of the fonts. It has all of the colors. All of those are built in here into this, what we call a gem or an agent. But that's something that can help you to create content much quicker. So not only can it write things for you, I think everybody sort of knows about how to get it to write stuff. One of the things that we found is if we can actually get it to create assets for us, then that's going to be much more valuable as well. And so creating content is one bucket. The second bucket that we have is what we call like sort of research. And you'll see here that I recently just threw this prompt into a conversation to ask it to go through a podcast conversation that I had and to go through the transcript and to find all of the basically messaging and branding assets that were in there. So it pulled out things like their one-liner. It pulled out their problems. It pulled out their taglines, some of the core propositions, some of the things. It had some recommendations in there. And so what's nice is that if you have this data, what it can do is it actually can be a great strategic partner as well. And so another way that I've used it as sort of a thinking, someone to think alongside is I recently gave it a personal assessment that I took called Working Genius, and not affiliated with them, but really enjoy it. And I gave it a prompt to basically go through and figure out how someone like me can really better, leverage AI and all of the things that, are coming along with that. And so this is another way that it can be helpful. And you'll see that, again, it goes through and it connects a lot of different thoughts. It connects a lot of different things, um, and sort of synthesizes it. And I think that one of the unlocks that people have is that if you can see AI not as a replacement for your brain, and it's never going to be able to replace you. It's not going to be able to necessarily replace your creativity or ingenuity or your intuition. I mean, there are certain things that humans bring, right? Obviously, you as an individual, but it's like having a little R2D2. It's like having a little C3PO that allows you to have more leverage, to be able to um, create things that would take too much time for you to realistically be able to do, for you to be able to research things that you would take too much time to realistically do, or to be able to have a strategic thinking partner that thinks differently and has different perspectives and has different, a different set of knowledge and understanding that, again, is not going to replace you, but it can help to be able to, again, think alongside you and give you, whether it's ideas, whether it's feedback, whether it's helping you to be able to see, around pitfalls or corners. Um, all of those things are just ways that AI can aid and assist you in whatever it is that you're doing. Right. Here's another example of the webinar. I wanted it to help me plan a webinar, and so I gave it sort of some rambling thoughts. Um, and it went through and helped me to, sort of think through how I was going to present some of this stuff. And so again, the buckets that we talked about creating content, not only writing, but also creating pictures and images and slides. All those things are now possible. We talked about strategy, right? If you think about consultants, right, and how they allowed you to be able to access the knowledge and information and experiences of someone much more experienced than you, right? Or that spent a lot of time in a particular area. Again, that is what AI is great at, is really going in and understanding those things and being able to give you a perspective that, again, it is different. It's not going to be complete. You're going to have to discern, you're going to have to identify what it is that you are going to take from there and utilize. But nonetheless, it is something that can help you expedite the process, right? Or give you more information if that's something that you want to be able to do. The last thing, we actually get what's been called agentic AI. And what has been really fascinating is the ability to build apps and tools that would have taken tons of time or tons of money previously. And so I just want to show you some of the apps that, we started building. Let's see here. So one of the ones that I'm been most excited by is this called, is what we call pod leads here. We'll give it a moment to open up. So here's our pod leads app, and we created this to be able to connect and find other podcasters that might be good for us to be as prospects, as potential clients, or to be able to come on as guests. And so you'll see here that if I have a topic, or, let's come up with something a little bit better, like agriculture, something weird. Well, this will go through and it'll find all of the podcasts, and it will, what it's going to be doing is it's also going to go through and it's going to grab their contact information. It's going to grab their email address. It's going to do some research on it. And so what you'll see here is that I, again, used my prompt builder, right? But I had all of this took about a couple of prompts, right? It took about maybe just two changes, two different prompts back and forth for us to have a app that does this and grabs me leads and prospects and potential guests, allows me to export them. It's all very just not only accessible, but it's super helpful. And again, taking the time to go through and finding all of these contact information and all these email addresses would have taken me hours before. But today it's done. You saw that it literally happened in a matter of seconds, right? Maybe a minute or two. And so again, creating these tools, which would have taken lots of time or lots of money, can now be done in a matter of a couple of minutes. And so it really is accessible. I think the other thing, I'm a proponent of the AI of Google tools just because, frankly, I use, I'm so embedded in their workspace and it comes with the, we already pay for the Google workspace. And so we get this as part of it. And so that's why I love it. I also love that, in Gemini, I can have it create calendar events. It can check my email and all those sorts of things. So for that reason, I enjoy using the Google AI products. But all of these things are possible no matter what it is, what it is that you're doing. And I just sort of scratched the surface. I sort of dipped into the bucket today to show you what was possible. But would love to hear what you guys are doing and what's working for you and how you guys are implementing and integrating AI for your business. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the comments as well. And we'll see you on the next one.